It's Madden NFL 24 on EA Sports. And the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions, and it's all up next.
The seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Today we've got a solid matchup in store in the NFC, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Detroit Lions. Up in the booth with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and kickoff straight ahead, CD. What's one thing that you're going to have your eye on?
I think about what the great coaches of the past always said. The key to any ball game. Can you rush theirs and protect yours? Well, in this case, both of these teams get after the quarterbacks. I'm watching the pass rush.
Here's the kicker, Jason Myers, to get this one started. And we are underway from Ford Field. Here comes Khalif Raymond from his end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by the former Cal Bear and the #1 overall pick in 2016, Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl, and came really within one quarter of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
Right to the air, here is Goff. And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. A good safe pass there right off the bat.
That's almost a rhythm play. That's what we like to call it. Get them into rhythm early, something safe, something they're confident about, something they feel good. And once that's completed, then you just keep moving from there because the confidence elevates.
On second down, here's Goff. That's caught. It's Sam Laporta. And they're able to get this one across the 35. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Goff's throw complete there to St. Brown. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
4 yards the pickup, first down. Well, we've seen running backs in today's NFL get involved in the passing game. Maybe it's about time more receivers like that get involved in the running game.
And that is something we are seeing more and more in this league, no question about it. That wasn't the biggest of gains, but it was enough to get them a first down. And it continues to test the defense. They have to think on every play about who might end up with the ball.
And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
It's been a 7-play opening drive, and this is 3rd and short. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
First down, they run again. Here's Montgomery. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
That is caught by Laporta. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical, they've been crisp, and as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early first and goal.
Now it's Goff off the bootleg. Got his tight end. That's complete. That's Mitchell. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. And that'll make it second and goal.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Here's Goff. That's another one complete to Mitchell. 5 yards that time on the completion, and now it's third and goal. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
Montgomery. Oh, Montgomery just unable to twist free as they hit him short of the line to gain. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on fourth and goal. This is a long drive offensively. Wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like one of those, doesn't it? To me, 3 points here, a major letdown. This is the time to go and put 6 on the board.
Montgomery, they'll run for it. And this time he is in.
Yes.
David Montgomery taking it in from a yard out. And the Lions' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. I think going for it there on the opening drive, CD, if you're that close to the end zone, seems like a no-brainer, and they're able to cap things off with a touchdown.
I think that he was imagining the message he would send to his team if he called for the field goal unit at that point. Great drive, got it all the way down there. You're telling your offense, I believe in you, and you're also telling your defense, hey, if they don't score, we've got it covered.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Eskridge going to keep this one in the end zone, and they'll start at the 25-yard line. Here come the Seahawks and their offense now under veteran head coach Pete Carroll. And they're led out by their mobile quarterback out of West Virginia. It's Geno Smith.
I still remember back in 2013 when he was drafted out of West Virginia. He was coming off a back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons for the Mountaineers. Hadn't seen as much game time in recent years, but at one point, a capable starter in the NFL.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Throwing now is Geno. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain of 16 for number 16.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. A man who played collegiately over at East Lansing, it's Kenneth Walker III. That's Aiden Hutchinson. He was determined to blow that play up, and he sure did.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
To throw on 2nd down is Smith. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one. Force the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Gino. Setting up the screen here. This is Walker. And he'll only get this to the 47. He needed a few more yards to pick up the 1st. It's a gain of 9, but it's also going to mean a punt here on their opening drive.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Now Goff. That's complete to Laporta. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a 1st down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
Pretty nice work defensively there on the 1st down run as they hold him to a gain of a couple.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
This a 2nd and 8. Back to the ground, this time Montgomery. They find some open field here. And great blocking downfield as he's got this almost to the 35-yard line. 1st down Lions on a pickup of 13. His 1st carry of their 2nd drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their 1st drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurtling through them.
And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. Boye Mafe got through the line like a knife through butter. He buries him for a loss.
Overall, I'd have to say that was just really good team defense because, to me, you can't pin that one on the running back. He had no shot there. He had a man in his face immediately.
This out quickly to Williams. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the 1st here. 3rd and 2, Goff. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Montgomery back to the ground. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter action now from Detroit, and it's the homestanding Lions who have the football. 2nd and 7 as they've got it as we resume action. Back to Montgomery on 2nd down. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. Throwing on 3rd, Goff. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
And sometimes when you run a screen pass down in the red zone, it's really tough to create a lot of room to operate. The field's pretty condensed. But that was really well designed there, and they're able to pick up a first down.
Here's Goff. There's Laporta. He's got it. Touchdown, Lions. 8 yards on the touchdown pass. And the Lions have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Another impressive drive. So they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
No sense risking anything there on first down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who can make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Geno now to throw. That's complete to DK Metcalf. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
They'll try for the first with Walker, and he will not only not get the yard he needed, he goes the wrong direction. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Lions will take over. Getting set to go again here on offense, Jared Goff trots back onto the field. 5 for 5 that last drive. Touchdown pass as well. He was clicking. Receivers, I don't want to be cliche, but running really solid routes too.
And what I love about it is when you look across any team, all right, the body types of the receivers are usually different. The way that they get open, different as well. Some of them use power to get open. Some of them use those head fakes and subtle moves. Some of them just use pure speed. And the really good ones, when they're established, they know how to push off at the end of a route too.
Tackled that time by Jerome Baker out of Ohio State. They'll come up 2nd and 7. Goff now to throw. Throw out wide is incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. The Lions on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Goff now looks to throw. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed, because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
On 4th down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. A strong running. Call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at about the 32. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. This one into the hands of Metcalf. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Here's Smith. Left side complete to Lockett. And Lockett going to pick up a Seahawks 1st down as he'll get this up past the 45. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here's 2nd and 10. Now a play fake, and it's Smith. Finding Smith and Jigba downfield. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 26. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Throwing is Smith. He'll find Metcalf. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Now a 2nd and 2. Now to the ground. Here's Walker. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On 3rd down, here's Walker. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Okay, CD, second quarter, look at their deficit and where they're at on the field. They're going for this, right?
I think that they are because down at this point, they've just made that big move. Ride the momentum wave while you can. I know people think, hey, you've got to get some points here. Hey, you're riding it big time. Go get it done.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. They'll try the air now with Smith. And he's got it. Touchdown. Noah Fant. A 5-yard touchdown. And the Seahawks are back within a score. Well, that's just how they drew it up, CD. His first read was there, got it to him quickly, and into the end zone.
Absolutely excellent execution by all involved. And the coordinator, got to give him credit, found the perfect play call. Quarterback let it fly as soon as the target came free, and his guy made a nice catch. Just how you draw it up in practice and then execute it in the game.
Myers connects on the PAT, and that'll make our score 14-7. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Taken at the goal line. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. And Detroit back in possession of the football as we eke closer and closer to intermission. Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
They'll start on the ground with Montgomery. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Back to Montgomery on 2nd down, and he'll take this to about the 24, a gain of 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Here comes 3rd down and 7. Now it's Goff. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. The call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. The Smith's throw caught here by Metcalf. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. Clock running, and the Seahawks, they're running 2, trying to speed up to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 2, Smith. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A good pickup there, 26 yards. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it's 2nd down. A shotgun snap for Smith. Throw out wide to Walker. So they'll get nothing out of that play, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
That's a nice job defensively to make sure everyone was accounted for because ordinarily you pick up the guys downfield and sometimes you forget about the running back. In this case, they did not and dropped him for no gain.
So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. Myers' kick is good, and they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports Halftime Report. In that first half, it was David Montgomery who proved to be tough to stop. He had a touchdown run that helped get his guys this halftime lead.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Seahawks trailing, but they will have possession first here as we resume action in the third quarter. Taking it about the 1. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the third. And they do trail, but they have a chance to possess the football first to try and do something about it.
And that certainly makes it something of an important drive for them, because is it going to win the game? No, but you have to do something to bring some life to your sideline.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up first and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Open man, there's Bobo. And he'll get nothing out of that one. So he stopped for no gain, and it'll be second down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
To throw on second down is Smith. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
They had the incomplete pass on second down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. From the gun, here's Smith. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30. He continues to deliver a first down here. He had 4 catches in the first half, and this one number 5.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when we decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit. They recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only second and short. So that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Carlton Davis picks it. And the Lions are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. The first half did not go their way, and that's not going to help matters at all. An interception here on the opening drive of the third quarter.
Obviously not what they were striving to accomplish. But you know who's really upset on their team? The defense. Already trailing. They're going to be counted on to try and hold that score at least where it is.
So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. To Montgomery to begin the drive. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Gone. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
Well, partner, we know they came out of the locker room down on the scoreboard, but I will guarantee you the defensive side of the ball got super emotional. They can come out and play with aggressiveness, with fury, because they don't have to be quite as precise, and it paid off for them on that play, didn't it?
Sure did. Excellent play, really setting the tone for this third quarter. Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there's not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 13. Now Geno. A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
And a smart play there. He's probably saying, I wish I would have done that on the last drive instead of throwing the interception.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Geno. Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Smith. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. How about 25 yards on 3rd down? They'll take it.
And it's pretty evident that this passing game has been frustrated so far. They haven't really moved the ball the way we might have expected, but this is a good pickup here for the 1st down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, it's Walker. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Running lanes were at a premium in the 1st half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big 2nd half.
Now 2nd and 3. To throw is Smith. This is Fant on the short completion. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a 1st down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
From the 50, it's Smith. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. And from the 41, this is 2nd and a yard. Back to throw, Smith. And this, incomplete. He tried to check it down to his running back and nearly had the ball picked.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. Straight ahead, Walker. A great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps him pick up the 1st.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
From the 35, here's 2nd and 5. They'll fake it. Now Smith. Catch is made by Metcalf. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. DK Metcalf. 35 yards. And the Seahawks have taken the lead here in this third quarter.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Now Myers for the extra point. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it's DK Metcalf who finishes things off with a touchdown reception.
They gotta walk that walk, baby.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Here's Raymond bringing it out. Powering his way forward. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Detroit's offense ready to take over. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Goff now looks to throw. That's to the tight end, Laporta. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
And that's a good start right there. This game has changed pretty dramatically in the last few minutes. So now these guys are forced to play from behind here. And that's a positive first step towards claiming this lead right back.
On first down, Goff. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Another catch for him there. This one good for 11. First down.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Goff now to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
A good action to this point in the third quarter. Just a 3-point game. 2nd and 10. Goff now looking to throw. And that'll be caught. It's St. Brown. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 24-yard line. The Lions passing game in sync now. They've got another first down.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. And a nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
They'll fake the give. Now Goff. That's complete to Laporta. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that will bring up second down.
Nice play call, a little bit of play action right there. If you can get those linebackers to freeze for just a split second, that's usually all the room you need in order to get it to your tight end.
2nd down and 4. Throw left side, caught by Laporta. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
Goff wants to throw on 3rd and 1. That is caught. And the Lions are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as they find a way to convert there on 3rd and 1.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a 1st down.
Goff throwing again. He'll go right back to St. Brown. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
They'll run for it with Montgomery. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Now Goff on 3rd and goal. And in for the Lions touchdown. Jared Goff to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And the Lions answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a 4th quarter lead. Plenty of scoring here of late, and our lead changes hands now in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, they just gave up a touchdown the other end, so they knew that with time getting short, they had to put something together here, and they were able to do so and retake the lead right back.
Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. It's up and good to make it 21-17. A 10-play drive that time, and it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Now the ball now going back over the Seattle Seahawks offense. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the 4th quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 23. Hands it to Walker to begin the series. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed 1st down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the 1st, you can get a little aggressive here on 2nd down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
Smith. Targeting the out route, and he completes this to Metcalf. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a 1st down.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Now Geno on 1st down. It's caught. Lockett. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Now it's Smith off the bootleg. Over the middle, finding Smith and Jigba. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2. Again, Smith. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Lee McNeil, what an effort to get in there and drop him.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10. At their own 13. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Got St. Brown running the quick slant here. That'll give them 8 that time. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and just a couple. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Throw right side, complete to Williams. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
1st down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. Here's Goff. And, he's unable to hold on to that defensively. A potential game changer, but it falls incomplete.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got a lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, 4th quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Lions 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
So after 2 1st downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Gone. That's into the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Off play action. Here's Goff. It's caught at the 10. Touchdown, Detroit. Jared Goff with his 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Lions are able to build on to their 4th quarter lead. Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now score game here the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. DK Metcalf for the Seattle offense about set to take over once again. They have to like what they've gotten from him in this game.
Think about the accumulation of catches.
8.
The yards per catch now, because you're getting more than a first down every time he's touching the ball. This is the kind of game you want when you're able to throw it out wide.
Absolutely. Over 100 yards, has the 8 catches. On 1st and 10, Smith. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Geno now to throw. Throw out wide to Walker. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
And that's a good job there by the corner. And we do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. And that incomplete, nearly intercepted. And remember, he had his hands on one earlier, had one pick. It could have been his second, but instead it's 4th down.
Oh, this defense knows. 4th quarter, they need to make a play. That one was ripe for the taking. Could have changed the complexion of the ball game, but it winds up incomplete.
Desperation time for Smith on 4th down. And able to catch it, but he's out of bounds. Now the throw took him beyond the sideline, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. Now Goff on 1st down. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
Now a 2nd and 10. Going up the gut, Montgomery. What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. 58 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times. This defense, Charles, they have unraveled here in the 4th.
In a sense, it's like they're being pressed like in a basketball game, and they just can't get the ball over half court. I mean, no matter what they do, they can't get off the field. They can't slow them down. They're just going up and down the field against them. Yeah, unraveling would be a perfect word for them.
Just a gain of a couple there. And that'll make it 2nd down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Up the middle, it's Montgomery. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. He needed 9, he got 8, and that's going to leave him with a 4th and 1 on their side of the field.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Running for it, Montgomery. And not only did he not get in the end zone, he didn't get the first down either. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down. And that will force a turnover on downs. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Smith to throw. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
The nice thing is that you've still got all your timeouts, so the middle of the field, that should still be an option, especially if you see the defenders pinching the sideline. You can run a little seam route right here and pick up some nice yardage.
Here's 2nd down. Smith. Left side complete to Lockett. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line.
And they were backed up to start the drive, but not anymore. Now, that's the play call that the offensive coordinator had in his head. You saw the end result. He wanted to go ahead and push the ball downfield, and that's what they did. And they wound up with good yardage there to get things rolling.
Here's Smith. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Aleem McNeil in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play?
Under pressure, they got him again. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. This crowd turning up the decibel level. It's 3rd and long. Smith's going to throw it. And that is incomplete.
Well, that play was certainly a little bit different because on the previous play, he was sacked. This time, protection a lot better. Had time to survey the field and still couldn't find an open receiver.
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now. Here we go on 4th. Smith. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And an utter disaster as the ball's going to go over on downs at the 2-yard line. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Montgomery. is into the end zone. Touchdown, Lions. Well, this, of course, set up by the stop a moment ago on 4th down, and now that might be the score that puts this one officially out of reach.
And it's a tough one because your hands are tied when you're losing in the 4th quarter because you know you've got to make something happen. They couldn't pick up the 1st down, and after that, the air just went right out of the balloon, and you knew you were looking at a defeated team.
Badgley on for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
On 1st down, Smith. Outright to Smith and Jigba. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Throwing now is Geno. Catch is made by Metcalf. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. That goes for a gain of 31.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
On 1st down, it's Smith. And Walker with it over the middle. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Here's 2nd and 7. Throwing again is Smith. He finds Smith and Jigba. 7 yards there and a 1st down. Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Lions as we say so long from Ford Field.